We got a big day Thursday night football, some good NBA games. So what we're going to do is we're just going to look for some bets. We'll clear out the board. So you can see, unsurprisingly, the Bills are really big favorites on the money line against the Bucks, minus 400. So 4-1 favorites, 80-ish% to win the game, 4-1 favorite, minus 400. So you can see they're best offered on Circa at minus 400. Again, what's crazy about sports betting is all these books have different odds, which is literally crazy if you think about it, right? There's one price for a stock. You go to Fidelity, E-Trade, Robinhood, whatever. This is the price of Facebook, $299.53. What's crazy about sports betting is all these books just do their own thing, set their own lines, have different models. So you want to make sure you have multiple sports books, you shop around, whatever, you get the best odds. But anyways, without further ado, let's kind of see what's available for tomorrow. So where do we want to start out? Maybe we start out on PrizePicks because why not? So we can start out on PrizePicks. We have some good-looking plays. Well, Taco Tuesday, this one went 5 for 6, which sucks. But the Mike Evans play, we're starting out 4 for 5, so this looks decent. But anyways, we can look for some plays on PrizePicks. So the tool I typically start out on is this Fantasy Optimizer. And all this tool is going to do is point out value in the market, right? It's going to point out discrepancies. You know, as a sports bettor, investor, trader, whatever you want to think about, I'm a previous trader. You know, that was my career. So I give a lot of finance analogies. But like, you want to find value in the market. So if you look at this player, Krasnow, PrizePicks has his line at 32.5. These other sports books, Jock Market, they have his line lower at 30.5, right? It's like seeing a stock at 32.50 on E-Trade, 30.5 on Fidelity. Like, it's crazy, right? We want to see discrepancies. That's what we want to see as a sports bettor. We want to see where is their value on PrizePicks. Where do they have a line too high or too low relative to their peers, relative to other books? So you want to be a little careful with eSports. These guys go hard. This guy's playing at 2 a.m. and he's playing at 6 a.m. But what we want to go with here is the 6 a.m. game. So you want to go with the second game. So if we go back here, Hot Streak is a sports book. They have his line at 29.5, so 3 points lower than PrizePicks. And they have the under favored. Again, it's not like you have a ton of data points. You know, when you're betting on like the MLB or something like that, you know, main sports, you have a lot more data points, right? Like if you look at MLB, first 3 innings money line, even there's a ton of books posting odds. So you kind of know where the line should be set. Whereas eSports, a lot of these more niche markets, CS2, you don't have as many data points. But what's great about eSports is there's just a lot of games, right? So a lot of games means, like if you look at Underdog Fantasy, they have like 10,000 eSports lines up. So there's a ton of games, and more games means more opportunity, right? NFL is basically 1 day a week, Sunday. Obviously, there's a game tomorrow, but you get my point. So what's great about eSports is there's just a ton of games. There are some early NFL bets. So like Patriots first quarter money line, plus 240. Obviously, they look good last game. Plus, you know, the Bills look kind of horrible. But regardless, you can see they're plus 240. All these other books, again, even if you only use DraftKings, you still want to look at other book odds because, again, you want to find value. You want to find plays with an edge. So seeing, hey, all these other books are pricing this around, you know, plus 194, plus 200-ish. Pinnacle right here, which is known to be the sharpest or the smartest sports book, they're only pricing this at plus 214. So getting plus 240 on DraftKings seems pretty good, right? So this tool is just going to point out value. But anyways, we got our first pick. So the second pick, and this is kind of similar to a play I gave out on Twitter, but hey, they still have this line available, so we might as well go with it, is Giannis under 5.5 assists. So if you take a look at the sports books like Pinnacle right here, Pinnacle, again, known to be one of the sharper or smarter sports books, they have this line all the way down at minus 170, right? So all these books have Giannis heavily favored to go under. And why is that important? You know, like, on PrizePicks, what's interesting about this platform is they give you the same payout if you take a player's over or under. So if we take Giannis's over, we get a 3x payout for a 2-pick entry. If we take his under, we also get a 3x payout. So PrizePicks has fixed payouts. So basically the main strategy for beating PrizePicks is you want to find spots where sportsbooks have an under really heavily favored. So Giannis, for example, FanDuel, DraftKings, Caesars, all these $10 billion companies, really sophisticated models, all these books are aligned. They're all telling us the same thing. Sure, they have slightly different odds, minus 140 versus minus 135 on Caesars, but all these books are telling us, hey, Giannis is a pretty big favorite, right, to go under 5.5 assists. He's more likely to go under. So a PrizePicks is going to give us the same payout if we take Giannis's over or under, and all the sports books are telling us, hey, he's a lot more likely to go under. That's the play we want to be on PrizePicks. Is Giannis under 5.5 assists? So if you kind of go through the math behind PrizePicks, what you'll see is on PrizePicks to be profitable. A lot of people, it's like, how does PrizePicks make money? How does this sports book work? It's like PrizePicks, again, they have fixed payouts. Any 2 picks you select, you're going to be getting a 3x payout. So the way they beat most people, most recreational bettors, is on PrizePicks to be profitable. You have to win your over-unders, just like Giannis, over-under 5.5 assists. You have to win your over-unders, your picks, above 54.25% of the time, right? So if you can win, they give you the same payout regardless of the picks you select. So it all just boils down to what percentage of your picks can you win. And if you can win your over-unders, let's say 56% of the time, like Giannis over-under 5.5, that's pretty good, right? You're winning 56, only losing 44% of your picks. You're winning 56, only losing 44. Your ROI on PrizePicks will be 11.9%. So I have some videos like breaking down the math behind PrizePicks, the payouts. But basically, this isn't easy to do, right? Most people, it's hard to win 55%, 56% of your over-unders. You're only losing 45, 44%. So you need a real advantage. You can't win 50%, lose 50%. That would mean you have no edge. You win half of your picks, like Giannis over-under. You lose half of your picks. So if you win 50% of your picks, that means you have no advantage. You win 50%, you lose 50%. Your ROI is going to be negative 25% on PrizePicks. So you need a real advantage. So the way to find picks, winning above 54.25% of the time is you compare the lines on PrizePicks to books. All the books have Giannis heavily favored to go under, right? So his under is more likely than his over. We know his under is going to have a win rate above 50%. His under is more likely than his over. He's going over or under. So if his under is more likely, it's above 50%. But above 54.25% is exactly this. So that's the second play we can go with. And then we can kind of keep going through some of these PrizePicks plays. So a lot of these plays I skip over. Like if you look at this play, Valencio. So if we go over to CS2, which is a new league on PrizePicks, it's like PrizePicks has this guy's line at 15. Underdog Fantasy has his line at 13. But there's only 2 data points, right? Like there's only 2 books posting odds on this. Like you can see here, there's a lot of blank rows. So you don't have a lot of data points. So it's not really clear who's wrong, right? If PrizePicks has Anthony Davis's rebound line at 13, Underdog's at 15, it's like, I don't know who's wrong, right? So in these cases, like I'd prefer to middle bet, right? Take the under 15, take the over, 13. It's kind of like buying a stock at 13 on Fidelity, and then you sell it at 15 on E-Trade. You're taking advantage of pricing discrepancies, middle betting, buy low, sell high type of thing. But let's just skip over that play for now. So a lot of these plays where you only have 1 data point, I'm going to skip them over. But there are some other good plays, so we can kind of check out what's out there. So another play we have is college football. Obviously, not everyone can bet college football, but here, Jack Gibbons tackles plus assists. So let's take a look at this play. So this is going back to the NFL. Again, like NFL, this game's not till Sunday, but this line probably won't last, forever. PrizePicks will remove it if they think it's good. So why do we think this play is good? Well, it's like, okay, first of all, Underdog Fantasy has Gibbons line higher at 8. PrizePicks has 7.5. And then all the sports books, if we just go to, this is called the OddsJam Sportsbook screen. It just kind of shows you where all the books have their line set. You can pull up a specific, market, whatever market you want to look at. You can search for a player. Is you're going to see all the sports books have Gibbons. His over is pretty heavily favored, right? Minus 145, minus 140. So all these sports books, again, even if you don't use DraftKings, you still look at their odds as a source of information, right? Kind of shows you line movements. As you can see, they have his over heavily favored. It's just reading in odds from DraftKings. So if we go back here and we go to defensive props, tackles plus assists, he's heavily favored to go over. He's more likely to go over. So this seems like a good play to go with. It's a play, again, winning above 54.2% of the time. So it's highlighted in green, and that's a play that's good to go with on PrizePicks. So we're just using data to kind of like find plays with an edge on PrizePicks. So then we have Plumlee over 1.5 passing touchdowns. So this play I actually have on Underdog Fantasy already. I need Westbrook to stay fucking under. I'm not sure why he's in the game. They're up 14. This was a play from a previous live stream, or from the previous live stream. So hopefully Westbrook, hopefully they put him on the bench. 500 to win $3,000. And then our second play did pretty well. I mean, we play 5-pick entries you want to play with insurance on Underdog Fantasy. We have some videos about when to use insurance, when not to. But you can see we went 4 for 5 because Wiseman didn't play. So we turned 500 into 750. So $250 of profit. So I mean, profit's profit, but obviously it would have been nicer if Thompson, went over, but whatever. So what are we talking about? So we have Plumlee. Plumlee's heavily favored to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. So then it's like college football. I mean, I don't really care, what I'm betting on if the plays have an edge. We have an NBA, NFL, college football, and CS2 pick. It looks like the most random, slip of all time. But hey, if that's where the value is, that's where we'll be betting. So the next play we have is Canyon under 6. So this is League of Legends, and I got a ton of tabs pulled up already, but we can take a look at our boy Canyon. So it's like Hot Streak has the line at 5.5, lower than PrizePicks with the under favored. They have the under all the way at minus 188. Underdog ParlayPlay, they have the line at 5.5. PrizePicks is at 6. All these other books, even if you don't use them, they're data points telling you, hey, this guy's line should be lower. Just like an investor looks for value, I follow a very data-driven approach, but obviously you don't have to. Do whatever you want. But finding value in the market is, kind of the core of being a good sports bettor. Like if you're betting Canyon over 6, like if you take this guy's over on PrizePicks, over 6, when all the other sports books have his line at 5.5 and he could have gotten over 5.5, like, you're getting ripped off, right? And getting ripped off, you're not going to make money sports betting. So, and then same thing here, right? We have Fairbairn. All the books have him heavily favored. So this is in the Texans game. And we cashed some pretty good plays on Fliff today. So Fliff is a great book to have. We cashed a ton of shit on. It's all green on Fliff. Last 4 plays at least. So 3-leg parlay that I gave out on Twitter. But anyways, if we go here and we go to the Texans game, and hopefully Westbrook's out, but if we look at field goals made, you can see Fairbairn, he's heavily favored to go over, right? All the books have him heavily favored to go over. So we know the over is more likely than the under. The over is the more likely outcome, the favorite outcome, whatever. So this is a play on PrizePicks. Winning above 54.25% of the time. So it's good to go in a PrizePicks entry, right? If his over is favored, we're not going to take his under. We get the same payout if we take him to go over or under. So if his over's the favorite outcome, that's the sharp pick, right? That's the play we want to be on. So that's what we'll go with. And you can see there are some other options on PrizePicks. Palafox over. That play seems decent. There's some other options we could go with. Palafox over 5.5. Other books have his line at 6 or 6.5. That play looks good. If you don't like any of the other picks, head tricks over 30.5. The other books have him 32.5, 31.5, 33. That play seems pretty good. So there's some different options. So what we can do is we can go here to Fairbairn, and you'll see like PrizePicks. I mean, this is what sucks about sports betting. The hard part isn't getting an edge. Is just some of these books, they'll like cut down your betting limits. You can see PrizePicks is telling me, hey, you know, you want to bet $50, but we're only going to give you $10, which is fucking stupid, but whatever. $10 max bet size for these 6-pick entries. But hey, like, you know, all these plays have an edge, good to go with in a PrizePicks entry. So we can go with that. And then we can head over to Underdog. I kind of bounce around from book to book, see where there's value. Sometimes there's better plays on PrizePicks. Like you can see, Underdog doesn't have a ton right now. There's only 4 plays in green, 4 plays that would be profitable. So OddsJam is just scanning all this crap and trying to point out discrepancies, value. Hey, here's where Underdog has their line too low. Here's where PrizePicks has their line too low or high, whatever. And sometimes there's more plays on Underdog. Other times there's more plays on PrizePicks. But next we can go over to ParlayPlay. And this is another book. And again, like, you know, it seems like a pain in the ass to have a ton of sports books. But all these books, first of all, most of them have pretty good bonuses when you sign up. So like ParlayPlay, you put in 100, you get 100 for free. And on ParlayPlay, like, you know, it's a book I've only used for 4 months. They're pretty new. PrizePicks has been around longer. It's kind of like a new PrizePicks competitor. And you can see, like, it's very volatile because I'm generally placing 6-pick parlays. But up $5,300 profit, whatever, the more books you have, the better. So the first play OddsJam is recommending is Mezzi under 33.5. So sometimes, you know, the value's on PrizePicks. Sometimes it's ParlayPlay. So if we look at this player, Mezzi, ParlayPlay 33.5, PrizePicks 32.5, JockMKT 33, Hot Streak 30.5 with the under favored. So it's the same strategy when you're betting on PrizePicks versus ParlayPlay. You know, we want to follow whatever data, find plays with an edge. So clearly the value's on the under here. And let me just close some of these tabs. There's way too many tabs open. So there we go. We got the first play on ParlayPlay loaded up. And then you can see there's some early NFL passing yards value. So we can go over to Justin Herbert. 265, 261, right? There's all these billion-dollar companies who have really good models. Like you have hundreds of data points for NFL passing yards. Maybe not all the books have posted lines yet for Sunday. But you can see like DraftKings, they have a pretty good model. They're pretty good at setting lines. It's their full-time job. They have the line at 265.5. Same with Caesars, Underdog, Betano, JockMKT. Hot Streak has the line at 261.5. And you have to remember, like everything is baked into the odds that sportsbooks put out. Lineup changes, injuries, everything's baked into the odds, right? Like you'll notice sportsbooks move lines around constantly. You know, if players get injured, that moves around the market. You know, sportsbooks reflect that information. Just like if a stock has a really good earnings report, they make a lot of money, you'll see the stock price pop, right? The stock will go up because the company's doing well, it's making more money. So it's the same thing in sports betting. Injuries, weather changes, all that crap ends up being reflected in the market. But what we can do now is we can look for some plays on ParlayPlay. So we have Justin Herbert under 274.5 passing yards. Again, all the other books have him at 265 or lower. So it's like, okay, that seems like a good play to go with. All the other books are saying, hey, or you can see they just adjusted it to 265.5. We were trying to bet him under 274.5. They already adjusted it, you can see, to 265.5. If we go back here. So a lot of these plays, like you got to move quickly. You really are day trading the sports books. You're trying to find these inefficiencies, take advantage of them. So you need, you know, we want to move quickly. So the next play we have is Levante David over 8.5 tackles plus assists. So if we take a look at this play, it's like, okay, all the books have him heavily favored to go over. I think we had him over last week too. So this is a play for Thursday Night Football. So if we go to the Bills game, we can just kind of take a look at the data. I kind of like to show like how I think about my sports betting. I really believe like whatever, education is the key to beating these books. So if you look up David, right, he's heavily favored to go over, minus 145 favorite. All these books, even if you don't use Fliff, it's a data point telling you, hey, he's more likely to go over. The over is the favorite outcome. So this is a sharp pick on ParlayPlay, right? And why don't we play this on PrizePicks? It's like, I bet PrizePicks doesn't even have this lineup. Well, they do, but ParlayPlay has better payouts than PrizePicks. They have higher payouts. So you'd prefer to play this play on ParlayPlay. Anyways, Lamar Jackson over 43.5 rushing yards. All these other books have him at 47.5. So sometimes there's a lot of bets. Obviously, all the games for tonight have started. The Clippers game, I think, is the last NBA game we have left. So there's not a ton of plays. It's not the weekend yet. Most books don't have all their odds out for Sunday for NFL. So we have, this player under 29.5. Other books have him lower. We have Ryko under 34.5. And this will make our fifth pick. And again, it matters kind of how many picks you go with on each of these platforms, just because they have different payouts. So on Underdog Fantasy, hopefully the Westbrook play didn't lose yet. Hopefully Westbrook doesn't play for the rest of the game. I know I gave this out earlier, so we'll have to see. But Underdog is 500 to win 3,000. So that's a 6x payout for 3-pick entries. If you look at PrizePicks, like, it does matter how many picks you go with. Is on PrizePicks, they only give you a 5x payout for three-leg parlays. So it does kind of matter, like, how many picks are you going with on each of these platforms? So the final pick we can go with is Gala under 9. So obviously the higher, like, PrizePicks has fixed payouts. Same with ParlayPlay, Underdog Fantasy. All these platforms work in the same way. So the higher percentage of your picks you can win, the better. So the play at the top is unsurprisingly going to be the best one, the biggest discrepancy versus the rest of the market. But we need 6 picks because that's the optimal slip type on ParlayPlay. And you can see they say max $60 bet size here. So it's only a max of $60. But now I have a 6-leg parlay to turn 60 into 2,400. So then I can kind of head back to Underdog, any value, meh. Like here again are those plays. It's just 2 data points, PrizePicks, ParlayPlay. There's some other plays that look halfway decent, but we'll skip those over for now. It seems like most of the value, at least at this time, was on PrizePicks. Giannis under 5.5 assists. This play was on the positive EV tool, also on the fantasy optimizer. You'll kind of see some overlap between these platforms, or between the betting tools. And then, depending on the books you use, maybe there's some bets you want to fire off on DraftKings. Patriots has really good value. So you can kind of select the sports books you use. The fantasy optimizer right here, it obviously works for fantasy sites like Underdog, PrizePicks, all these platforms that have fixed payouts because the strategy is a little different. Like on Underdog, there's no straight bets. You can't just place one bet. I can't just bet on, Embiid over 28.5. You need at least 2 picks. So these platforms have fixed payouts. They work a little differently. So the strategy is a little different. Whereas when you're betting on sports books, DraftKings, Fliff, Circa, Bovada, PointsBet, whatever, it's always the same strategy. You just want to find value. And in general, I'm going with straight bets. But you can place parlays too. But West Virginia, first quarter money line, plus 180 seems solid. Patriots, first quarter money line, plus 240. And all OddsJam is doing is really just scanning all these lines. Each of these sports books platforms has thousands and thousands and thousands of lines you can bet on. So you want to zone in. It's hard to know where's their value on Underdog. What are the good picks to go with? So it's just going to scan the market and point out when there are big discrepancies, when there is value in the market. So are there any plays we want to jump on Fliff? There's some decent bets on DraftKings, WinBet, kind of a bunch of the other sports books I use. Then I'll kind of check out the arbitrage tool. So arbitrage is when these books get so out of sync. All these books set lines independently. Every book has different odds from one another. So when these books get so out of sync, sometimes you can bet the over on one book or equal and opposite outcomes and make a profit. So usually it's a low profit margin, but here, Diamondbacks on win, Rangers on Caesars, you can bet the Diamondbacks on win at plus 135. Caesars has them at minus 108 or plus 100. Caesars has slightly different odds in the US versus Canada, but whatever. Like you can see like plus 135, Caesars all the way down at plus 100. So you can bet the Rangers on Caesars and the Diamondbacks on win and make a risk-free profit. That's arbitrage betting. When these books get so out of sync, you can bet one team on one book, one team on another book, and guarantee a profit. You just follow the arbitrage calculator. So let's say you throw $500 down on Caesars, on the Rangers minus 130, 135 on win, on the Diamondbacks plus 135. You make $818 in profit no matter what happens. It's not glamorous, but it's obviously free money, easy money that you'll get back, after game one of the World Series. So not a ton of arbitrage bets available right now. So just not a ton of plays available. Some good bets on DraftKings, but whatever. We'll call it a day for now. Hopefully this was helpful. We got some good plays down on PrizePicks, and thanks so much for your time.